We all have something to give, and we all have something to get as we give. It's about being able to recognize that just by being here, you've got incredible worth. And what is it going to take for you to accept that? What is it going to be? What is more powerful than being able to accept that you are worthy?
Welcome back to Unapologetic Rabble-Rousers. I'm DocShellie.
And I'm Carla Lewis. And we are continuing on this journey of self-worth. And today, maybe spend a little time just taking a look at some main components of it. This could go into a couple of episodes. So we're going to see where the conversation takes us.
It's just more fodder for we are completely unscripted when we do these.
It's so very true. Okay, so where do we start?
I think we think about self-acceptance,
Okay.
I think is a good place to start because in order to understand my self-worth, I think I need to be accepting of myself and
Yes.
not just the good stuff, the quirks and the flaws and the weaknesses that we all have. All of us, every single one of you. I know you don't want to admit it, but you have flaws.
This is about self-awareness, really. It's about being able to take in all of the signals that are coming from inside and all of the things I might see myself engaging in or being triggered by or whatever. We have to be aware of those
Yes,
things
indeed.
because that's our package.
Yeah.
So being able to accept that package means that you have to understand what's in it.
And it's funny, as you're talking, this is going through my head, is how much compassion I see people have for other people, but not for themselves. People are so hard on themselves and they judge
Mm.
themselves way more harshly than they would their friends or sometimes even a perfect stranger.
We've talked about that before, and I know I did it on one of my lives, talking about would we allow anyone else to speak to you, to me, to yourself, in the way you speak to yourself? You
Right.
think about it.
I often call my friends out on it, going, don't talk about my friend Carla like that, like to Carla. Don't talk
Mm-hmm.
about my friend.
Yes.
You don't get to talk about my friends like that. And so it's a fun way of checking people to
Mm-hmm.
be like, what are you doing? Why are you talking so poorly about yourself? I think you're an amazing human being, and you don't get to tell yourself that you're not.
And digging into, and why do we make those choices? Where's that coming from? So being aware of the things that we value or the things that we're afraid of or that we don't want but have to deal with. It's all of that, but that awareness of what makes us who we are. You got to start with kind of a clean piece of paper there and make sure that what's on that piece of paper is real. And it doesn't have to be pretty. It does not have to be something you're proud of. It is a part of who you are.
And none of us should be judged by the worst thing we've ever done. There's been a lot of great things that we have all probably done too. And it's interesting because as we were having this conversation in the last episode and then this one too, I keep thinking about my friend Shaka, who we've spoken about before, who spent close to 20 years in prison and is out in the world doing amazing things. And he went on this incredible journey of, I call it self-leadership, like really figuring out who he is, what's important to him, what is of value to him. And it was amazing to watch him grow from when I met him just getting out of prison to where he is now. He's in LA, he's working on different movies, he's done a couple episodes with Oprah, and he's doing amazing things. He still can't vote. He still can't get a house because he's a convicted felon. And so that will carry through his life. A horrible thing that he did, he full on admits it. But he doesn't judge himself based on that one horrible incident. There's so much more to who he is. If he can find a way to be an amazing human being that is a great contributor to society, none of us have an excuse to not have some healthy self-worth.
I think being able to recognize a regret, but not be shackled by it, that you can and must move on
Mhm.
from the standpoint of learning and growing and building compassion for those who have maybe gone down a similar path.
Mhm.
And it doesn't have to be something that might be in the legal system. It might not have to be, there's a really adult word about judged by. It's not requiring to be legislated through the courts or anything, but we all have those things.
Mhm.
We all have those things. I heard one time, and it just feels like I need to say it right now, do not compare your day to day with somebody else's highlight reel.
Right.
As you're looking at your life as messy and as accident prone and as there's mistakes and there's beauty and all of that, you don't compare that to anything else
Yeah.
because it's yours and it's yours uniquely. It doesn't exist anywhere else on the planet, which means that you have insights and experiences and hopes and dreams and broken heart and whatever else makes you who you are, but being aware of what makes you and respecting it. That's where the self-acceptance really comes in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure the majority of us have things in our lives that we wish didn't happen, we wish we didn't say, we wish we didn't do. But I am certainly not going to define those moments in my life compared to all the other moments I've had where I've done some really cool things. I've had some great experiences. I've lived a lot of life in my 56 years. I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't trade it for anything.
Mm-hmm.
And the things that I don't like to say regret simply because I learn from my mistakes. And so I think the regret would come in if I think about maybe the impact that it had on other people that was not intentional, but recognizing that there was other people involved and maybe their feelings were hurt or whatever. But and I don't mean that to dismiss that, but thinking about those moments versus all the other moments,
Mm-hmm.
it's such a small percentage.
Mm-hmm.
And why would I define myself based on those 2% things that I did compared to the 98% of things I've done that have been amazing in my life?
Yes. Yes. I don't know. I just had this visual, wasn't pretty, and it wasn't about you. It was about those things that happen in our lives that are, they're the turds that float to the top of the punch bowl. And that's all anybody,
A
that's
lovely
all
way
you
of
can
words.
see. I'm just saying. It just, yeah, they're in there. Okay. It's fine. But it's your punch bowl. And
Yeah.
you can pay attention to what you want. You can strain out what you want. But okay, I'm going to just stop right there because I'm I'm having too much of a visual on that. It's important to be able to understand that where there are those experiences where we're not comfortable with the memory or the experience we had and the things that, what is it about painful and ugly and awful that we love to carry along with us? And we have to peel those layers back to get to what were some of the really good ones. And
Mhm.
I don't know that everybody's like that. I recognize there are some people who are. They're the ones that are going to, oh, the regrets. You say you don't really consider regrets because you learn from those things. And a very self-aware person is going to do just that. It takes work
Mhm.
and it takes caring to do the work,
Mhm.
which I think is a big piece of self-worth.
Absolutely.
We're talking about it in terms of self-acceptance. What are some of the things, what are some of the questions maybe that we could be asking ourselves when we're maybe in a low moment and we're thinking, oh man, I I just suffered a blow to the worth I thought I had, to the self-worth I was feeling. What are some of the questions? I think we've
Like when you're
covered
riding
them.
high and somebody pops your balloon.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I think it's important to just reflect back on a couple questions that kind of pop in my head are, what is it that makes me worthy? And we all know, I've said it a million times, I'm a big journaler. Get out your journal and write that question down and think about it or meditate on it or just spend some time reflecting on it. Who are you as a human being and what makes you worthy? What makes you worthy of respect? What makes you worthy to be here? Just the fact that you're here is good, but dig deep into really thinking about, what is it that makes you worthy? What are your values? What do you stand for?
Mm,
And think about, when do you feel valuable?
mm,
Not when do other people find you valuable? When do you find yourself valuable? And I think that question is going to be, the answer to that question is going to be different for everyone.
absolutely. I think those are really incredible prompts, whether or not you're a journaler, but being able to think and say, wait a minute, okay, at the moment when you start first feeling that twinge or you start sniffing this attack on your self-worth, is to sit down and say, wait, do not let that burn. Do not let that take hold. You instead need to take a hold of that moment and say, this is of vital importance. I need to understand what is it that's creeping in here and affecting what I thought was a strong position on who I am and my worth. Why
Yeah,
I'm
I
worth,
think, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, why I'm worth the breath that I'm taking, the air that I'm consuming.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that I do in that kind of that instant moment when somebody pops that balloon when you're not expecting it, is, my coach taught me this, and it's one of the most brilliant things ever. And it's super simple. Hand over your heart, deep breath, and remind yourself that you're safe. I'm okay.
Mm,
I am safe. And then you just clear your head, and then you can start to process through all those questions and thoughts.
wow.
What are my values? When do I feel valued? What am I bringing to the world? And it doesn't have to be something big.
Mm-mm.
I often hear people will share with me, well, I don't have a story. I don't have that big aha moment where all of a sudden my life changed. Neither do I. But it's a series of things that you learn and grow from. And that's your story. It doesn't have to be a big aha Tony Robbins moment. It can be, these are the little things that I've done in my life every day, once a week, once a month, whatever it is. Those little things add up to who you are. And those are really important to take a minute to examine, to help you find that self-worth and to continue to develop the self-worth, and rest easy that when people try to take you down, you don't let them.
I so you just triggered a thought about a program I'm participating in, and it's this notion of story. Okay. We we may not have those epiphanal kinds of moments, but we have moments every day. We have stories from the commonplace every day. Any engagement with another part of the universe, a person, a driveway. Today for me, it was the garbage lady. And it was, every one of those stories says something about us. And we don't think about the fact that every breath is a story.
Mhm.
So it's taking a look at, if you are here, there's a reason. And it's not, I'm not really clear that anyone's reason is to be a piece of gum on the bottom of someone's shoe, or to be a representation of all that's bad about humanity. No, we all have something to give, and we all have something to get
Mhm.
as we give. It's about being able to recognize that just by being here, you've got incredible worth. And what is it going to take for you to accept that? What is it going to be? What is more powerful than being able to accept that you are worthy? What other thought can be more powerful than that? That you would actually say, oh, you know what? I'm gonna let go of that self-worth shit, because clearly it's not true. Accept yourself.
Mhm. Flaws and all.
Flaws and all. I'm Carla Lewis.
I'm DocShellie. If you like what you're hearing, share with your friends, give us a follow, and download the episodes. We will see you next time.
Do not compare your day-to-day with somebody else's highlight reel. Accept yourself.
Flaws and all.
Flaws and all.